Hey guys, Chris Cox here for another Kiss guitar lesson. Today we're going to do Mr. Speed off Rockin' All Over, my favorite all-time Kiss album. Before we get started, I want to talk about the tuning a little bit. The tuning is not quite to standard if you want to play along with the record. So I noticed when I tuned to standard it was slightly out of tune, and if I tuned a half step down that was too much. It's somewhere kind of in the middle. So I'm actually tuned to the album. So if you want to tune to me, I'm going to give you a low E right now, open E. So if you tune to me, you should be able to play along with the record. So starts off with barring our first finger across the 9th fret of the D and G. So we have this. Now if you lay your finger across, it'll allow you to mute the B and high E strings as well. So you can just fret on the 7th fret and just lay the finger across on the B and high E. Now after that we have a little lick that slides from the... You're playing that with your ring finger on the 11th fret of the G, and you're going to slide to the 13th fret. And then you're going to pick up this B note on the 12th fret of the B string. So we got, so this is what we have so far. Okay, so from there, after we play that B note, we're going to go, so it's the same kind of thing up here. You're barring across the 9th fret of the D and the G. Well, you're just going to start it here on the 11th fret and bar on the same string. So it's, so the lick sounds like this. Now up to speed, you want to play that. It definitely works better when it's a quick lick, but it's a great little transition lick to go into the next chord. The great thing about this is once you have that lick down, you've got a good 40-50% of the rhythm guitar playing for this song. So once you have that lick, the rest should fall into play pretty easy. So let's go over it again. So we go. Okay, now we're going to just shift down to the 7th fret, and we're still barring our first finger across the 7th fret of the D and G, and we're going to play that exact same riff, just a whole step down. Okay, so this is the same exact thing as we played up here. We're just moving everything down a whole step. So we're going. So the slide's going to occur from the G string, from the 9th to the 11th fret, and then you're going to grab the 10th fret on the B string. So it's then back to the 9th and 7th. So we have this. Okay, now we're going to go all the way up here. We're still playing these little perfect fourth chords. So we're going to be here on the 2nd fret, still kind of barring our first finger on the 2nd fret of the D and G string. So we go. So I'm pivoting back and forth from the 4th fret on those same two strings. So it's 2 strokes. So 2 downstrokes. Then one strum on the 4th fret before we go back to the 2nd fret. So now when we go back to the 4th fret, we're going to do a little bend with both of those strings. And we go back to that A. Now we're going to shift up a whole step, 2 frets, play the exact same thing. So it sounds like this. That's the entire intro, but it also is the chorus of the song. So let's go through all those parts very slowly. Repeats again. So we have this little riff that is, well, basically it's the verse. So it sounds like this. So that's going to be down here on that. It's basically around that first riff we played. We're still barring our first finger across the 9th fret of the D and G, and we're going back and forth from this little perfect fourth interval on the 11th fret of the A and 11th fret of the D. So it sounds like, so back and forth there. Then we're going to shift our ring finger and pinky finger down here to the D and G string on the 11th fret, and we're going to do a little, that's where we do a little bend, so we're bending both of those notes down. You're pulling down on the strings. So it sounds like this slow. And then we go back up here, and this is going to be like a B, but this is a perfect fourth, and we're going to go. So we're going to play that familiar riff. We're back up in the 4th position, okay, 4th fret. So let's go over that again. So singing starts here. Shift. Back to where you started. Back again to the 4th position. And then the only difference is we're going to go back to that A position. So the 2nd fret can go. This time we're not going to be playing the D and G on the 4th fret. We're just going to be pivoting back and forth from the 2nd fret of the D and G to the 4th fret of the A and D string. So it's, and we're going to go back into the main riff. We're going to go back up to the 4th fret again. And this part is basically right before we're coming out of the verse. So all that is, we're barring across the 4th fret of the D and G, and then we're going to grab this on the 6th fret with our ring finger and pinky finger. So we go. So downstroke, 2 downstrokes, pivot back and then end on the 2nd position. And then we go back into the riff. Shift again down to the 4th position. Playing the same riff. So let's go over that. I'm going to play all that together, the whole verse. So that's the entire verse. So if you know the intro riff, then you know the chorus. So the chorus will go into back and play. The second verse is played exactly like the first verse. So all we have left is the rhythm guitar part underneath the guitar solo. So we, it's basically just a kick drum, and we go back into the intro. Oops. So basically just some power chords there. So some this would be a C sharp power chord, or a C5, C sharp 5, and I'm just doing this shifting down to a whole step, 2 frets to the B. So we go, and then we're going to be playing that power chord, that A5, and then we're going to go back to the 4th fret. So my first finger's on the 4th fret of the A, 3rd finger's on the 6th fret of the D string. So, and then if you want to add that octave there on the 6th fret of the G, you can. Makes the chord sound a little fuller. So C sharp, B, A, go back to the C sharp, B, C sharp. It's going to repeat again. One more time, a little different this time. So from that C sharp, we're going to go, instead to the B, we're going to go A, B, and we're going to hold that, just let it ring, back to the intro riff. Now, at the very end of the song, there's another riff. It's almost like well, it's not quite at the end. It's almost like a bridge, but it's basically we're doing this. It goes back into the main riff. So that's basically, if if you've got all these other rhythm parts down, this is the same kind of riff. It's just moving in different positions. So we're going, so we're just pivoting back and forth from 9th fret, 12th fret, barring my first finger across the D and G, and then I'm grabbing the 11th fret of the A and D, shift down a whole step, 2 frets to the 7th fret. Play that same riff, just move it all down 2 frets. Then we're going to go all the way back into the 2nd position, play the same riff. Move to the 4th position, 4th fret, play the same riff. Shift back into the 9th position. Starts off with a bend. We're going. So we're kind of coming up and bending the note before we strike it. So when I come up, I've already bent the note up, and I'm just hitting it, and I'm letting it, I'm fretting it and allowing the note to come down. So, and then we're doing a little hammer-on pull-off from the 9th fret of the G to the 11th fret. So we have this. Okay, so just 9th, 11th, 9th. Then we're going to go to the D string. We're going to play the 11th, 9th, 11th. We go. So. That's just 11, 9, 11, and then we're going to grab that E note on the 9th fret of the G. So we have this so far. And then we're going to do a little bend. And that's going to occur on the B string. So we're going to be here on the 12th fret of the B. We're going to have our index finger anchored at the 9th fret of the B. So we have, so I'm bending up, full bend, and I'm doing the full bend up, and then I'm releasing the note back down while fretting it. Back to the 9th fret of the B. So once we come back to the B note on the 12th fret, we're going to do a full bend, and we're going to have vibrato. So it's. And I want to say something about vibrato. If you really want to get the most out of, I think the best sounding vibrato, it's going to come better if it's from your wrist. So you can kind of see as I bend up, I'm going to kind of turn to the side so you guys can see. So if you're rocking your wrist back and forth like this, you'll be able to get a wider vibrato, smoother, versus going, just with your fingers. Now, I'm sure we can all think of all kinds of guitar players that probably use that technique just with the fingers without the wrist, and probably sounds great. But for me, getting that wrist involved, so you're kind of doing this motion, getting used to that, you'll get such a great controlled vibrato. So let's play what we have so far. So we have... Okay, now we're going into the Chuck Berry lick. So Ace plays this lick a lot, but I have to say, as much as he plays it in all the songs, it sounds a little different in each song to me. It's just like it just fits in perfect. I mean, you can hear this lick in so many Kiss songs: Two Time, Rock and Roll All Night, Love Gun, Mr. Speed. I mean, but he plays it just slightly different enough to make it really, really effective and interesting. That's why I love his playing. So basically, once we come out of that bend, we're going. So basically, bending up on the 11th fret of the G, and then you're barring your finger across the B and high E string on the 9th fret. So okay, so basically bend up, and then you're doing a quick bend up, and then we're stopping that note. So we're doing a full bend, but once we get it up there, we're going to not let it ring anymore. So we have... And before you go back to that 11th fret to play another bend, you're going to go ahead and play this. So this little chordal thing is you're pivoting back and forth. It's your pivot point, okay, from the 9th fret. So we have... So you can kind of see us play that again really slow. Okay, from there we're doing a... So there's some of those passing notes I was talking about. So you're basically barring across the 9th fret with the B and high E string. We're playing, and then we're going to shift down here with our ring finger to the 12th fret, playing the same thing. And then we're going to slide from 12 to 11. And then we're going to shift up to the B and G string and play the same frets, 12, 11, 9. So if you can kind of flatten out that ring finger, that really helps to kind of control the string noise and just do the slide. So now the last part, we're just doing a... And that's just bending up from the 11th fret of the G, stop, coming back to the 9th fret of the G, and then stopping on the 11th fret of the G again, and then put some vibrato. So let's play the whole thing slowly. Get back into the main riff.